Morning, ladies and gentlemen. During the declared emergency in the City of Toronto, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements and in-person attendance limitations. This will be a virtual public hearing, and participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentations to the committee using WebEx, an online event that is being moderated by city staff. Anyone wishing to view the hearing may do so by watching it on YouTube. Participants who have registered in advance will be connecting either by their computer, a phone or tablet app, or by telephone. All participants are automatically muted on entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. Only the committee members are participating by video. Any registered participants will be participating by audio only. We ask that you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak. For all those who are waiting online, please ensure that you have called in with the phone number that you originally registered with. If you call in with a different number, you will not be able to speak on the item. To ensure audio clarity, I suggest that you do not use the speakerphone function on your telephones. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Alan Smithies, and I will chair today's meeting. Joining us on the panel today are Nadini Sankar Peralta, Paul Kidd, Asif Khan, and Ron Hunt. City staff are also present: Kelly Reed and Adam Wills. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw that apply to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone attending today who wants to receive a copy of the committee's decision must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the committee's decision, it may be appealed to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the committee's decision. The hearing procedure is as follows. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with their presentation if desired. If the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak on the item. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter into the committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, is given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5-minute limit. When addressing the committee, please state clearly your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters described in the application. The applicant or agent proceeds first and will make their presentation to the committee. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. To ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes, the committee may decide to defer the application if it has been substantially revised. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application are invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the previous speakers. This marks the end of discussion on the item. The application is then taken into committee for a decision. Before we start, I note that we need to adopt the minutes from the meeting of the 25th of March of 2021. If I could have someone move to adopt those minutes, please. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move that the minutes of March 25th, 2021, as amended, may be adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion? Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Those minutes are adopted. Are there any members of, committee members who have a conflict of interest they'd like to declare? There being none, thank you very much. We move on. I understand we have a number of applications who'd like to defer. I have item number 8, which is 25 Finchurst Drive. Is just a moment here.
Mr. Chair, it'll be Nikita that will present for us.
Pardon me?
It'll be Nikita that will be presenting
Okay,
for.
Thank you, Mr. Wills. I have a Nikita Matkarski. Are you there?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yes, hello, madam. Can I get your full
Um,
name and address, please?
My name is Nikita Matsarski, and I'm going to talk about 25 Finchurst Drive.
I'm sorry, thank you. I understand you're requesting a deferral. Can I get the reason for the deferral, please?
The reason is that we've been working with the planning department, and we got a staff report. And when we talked to the owner, we still decided to proceed with the application. But after we submitted all the documents and all the drawings, we received a council letter and also a letter of objection. And there is a problem with the trees on the side. There is a deck on the porch, and the councilor was asking for the refusal of our application. And when we saw that, we decided to ask for a deferral so we can have a chance to update the drawings and clarify the information about the trees. Because the owner is building this house for himself, and he accepts our professional opinion. Yeah, we decided to ask for a deferral so
Okay.
we can adjust the deck. Yeah.
Okay, before you go further, sir, you did have an opportunity to read the city planning report of the 10th of August, because they're recommending refusing variance number 4 for the proposed number of stories, variance number 6
Yeah, we're
for
not
the
Mhm.
proposed number of platforms, variance number 8 for the proposed second. So are you proposing to, is this one of the reasons as well as to discuss these issues with city planning?
Sorry, can you repeat this? The question?
I'm sorry, can you state, I didn't hear what you were saying.
Mr.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear it.
Have you had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 10th of August?
Mhm, yes, we did.
Okay, so you understand that they're recommending refusing a number of your variances.
Yeah, we understood that, but again, we talked to the owner, and we still decided to proceed. And after we did that, we received the councilor letter and a letter of objection from one of the neighbors. And as I said, we decided to ask for a deferral after that, so we can improve the deck and the porch. And yeah.
Okay, all right then, sir. I made you aware of what city planning reports. I would be suggesting you touch base with them as well. I just have to discuss this with the people who have deputants who have registered. I have Denise Young. Are you there? Denise Young, are you there?
Yes.
Hello, can I get your full name and address, please?
Sure. It's Denise Young, 23 Finchurst Drive.
Okay, thank you, sir. You've heard the comments from the applicant. They'd like to defer their application. Do you have an objection to that?
No, I assume that we'll receive notice of whenever it's put back onto the schedule.
Okay, thank you. I'll go to the next person on the list. I have Man Bui Lung, and I.
Mr. Chair, they are not present on the call.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wills. Next person is a Wayne Fong. Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Fong. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Wayne Fong, 108 Bevdale Road.
Okay, thank you, sir. You've heard the applicant. He's requesting a deferral. Would you like to, do you have any objection to a deferral?
Yeah, I understand the notion of the deferral, and no problem with that for me. I just didn't get an understanding of the reason for the deferral. I didn't understand the reason, but I heard a mention of a tree, and I'm hoping it's not because of a removal of a large tree. That was my main concern on this build.
Either way, sir, he'll have to discuss that issue with urban forestry. I'm sure that's part of the reason for the deferral. Do you have an objection to the deferral?
Are they removing this large tree?
I don't know, sir. He's just asking for a deferral. Do you object to the
Right.
deferral? He
I
will
don't,
to
but I
come
don't
back
have.
to the
I
committee.
Yes, I get what you're saying. I just didn't understand what Nikita said, because Nikita just repeat what he said about a tree, and that's all I need for my understanding.
No, I would indicate that he has to discuss this issue with urban forestry further. So, but do you have an objection to a deferral? The application will come back to the committee and you will be notified again.
Okay. All right. Okay. With the deferral itself, no, I do not.
Okay, thank you. I'll go to the next person on the list. I have a Chris Gaffney. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Yes, can I get your full name and address, please?
Chris Gaffney, 21 Finchurst Drive, North York.
Do you have an
M2R1K.
Do you have an objection to the applicant's request for a deferral, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, and can I get briefly your reason for that you're opposed to the deferral?
Well, I don't really, I just don't see the need for why he needs all these extra stuff. Like he's going above the, what the city.
Well, sir, he obviously needs to make changes to his application, so it has to be deferred. So that's the reason he's asking for a deferral. Do you have an objection to that?
Yes, I do. Yeah, but you know, I'm not good at these things, so I don't really know what to say to you here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll take it into the committee. Can I get a motion on this deferral request, please? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. After listening to the applicant's request for a deferral, I would move that we defer this application sine die.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hunt. Someone to second that? Ms. Sankar seconds that. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been has been deferred to the next available meeting so that you can discuss your issues with urban forestry. I also suggest that you discuss the issues that were identified in the city planning's report, and I also suggest that you discuss the application with area residents. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next meeting. The next deferral request. Item number 11, 137 Sheldrake Boulevard. I have
Mr. Chair, what item is it?
just a moment. Item number 11, 137 Sheldrake Boulevard. I have the applicant, a Jerry Palusowitz. Are you there?
Jerry's the architect. I'm registered instead. My name is Franco Zarazalo. I'm the owner of 137 Sheldrake Boulevard.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
To everyone. Yeah, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. So
you have
yes.
You're requesting a deferral. Can I get the reason for the deferral?
That is correct. So our original proposal, the drawings included the building of the deck. That's about, I guess, 34 something square meters, and that was rejected as the allowance was only 4, but we were thinking, because it's kind of technicality, because the basement is counted as a first floor because of the bylaws. I guess it's not deep enough. That's my understanding. So the deck is kind of counted now on being on a second floor, and it should be only like 4 square meters as opposed to what we wanted to build. And so we just want to review what we want to do about it. That's where we are.
Okay, thanks. So you need to make changes to your application. You'd like to request a deferral. I have no other persons registered to speak. Are there any questions of the applicant? Can I get a motion? Can I get a motion on this deferral request, please? Ms. Zankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll motion to defer this application sine die, giving the applicant a chance to do more work on this application.
Thank you very much. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been adjourned to the next available meeting. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 14, 565 St. Clements Avenue. I have one person registered to speak, and that is Mr. Lauren Rose. Are you there, sir?
Mr. Chair, members, Lauren Rose is not on the call currently.
Oh, thank you. Oh. He's the age we have, so I'll defer this. We'll have to put this back to the bottom of the agenda then, Mr. Wills?
We'll wait and we can do it at the end of the session, the morning session, we'll do it.
Thank you. Okay, we will now, just make sure we have no one else.
And in the meantime, I will reach out to Lauren Rose to try and get a hold of him.
Okay, thank you. We'll now proceed to item number 151 Bayview Wood. I have the agent, Mr. Glenn Rubinoff, and I understand that staff, Mr. Lamb would like to make a presentation to the committee.
Correct, Mr. Chair. We'll lead with Simon Lamb.
Okay, Mr. Lamb, are you there?
Yep, I am. Members, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Everything good? Thank you very much. Can I just ask that the draft R plan be put up?
Yeah, it's coming up, Simon.
Okay. So the notice that you have before you, the consent part of it, there's supposed to be a request for an easement, which was inadvertently omitted from the public notice, and this affects part 3. So if you look at sort of the bottom left corner, you'll see part 3. That is part of a driveway. So that's the primary access to one of the proposed lots, the south lot, and it is also a required right-of-way for the proposed house that is to the north. So that request for an easement for access, for vehicle access, was inadvertently omitted from the public notice. I don't believe it affects any other neighbors. It's a private easement between the 2 proposed houses, and I don't believe it affects any of the variances. You'll notice that in the staff report, they do make reference to this easement being a requirement for the development of this this property if you do approve it. Otherwise, the north property doesn't have street access. So that's a bit of the background, and I think the applicant, Glenn, will probably speak a little bit more about this, especially as how the lots will be developed. I just want to give you a background as to why the easement request is not in your public notice.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lamb. So approving the easement would also be part of what you recommend. If committee saw merit in this application, the easement would be approved as part of that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll now move on. Are there any questions of Mr. Lamb? Okay, thank you. We'll now proceed to application number 151 Bayview Wood. I have the agent, Mr. Glenn Rubinoff, to speak. Are you there, sir?
Yes, good morning, everyone. It's
Yes, thank
Glenn
you, sir.
Rubinoff.
I note that I have one other person registered to speak. If you could make a,
Mr. Chair and members, just as to bring to your attention, Lutz Fulgraf is not on the call at this time.
okay, thank you. All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Rubinoff. Just before we start, I note that there are some staff reports here that I need to make you aware of. There's recommended condition from urban forestry. There was a 28th of June 2021 report from development engineering. They have no objection to your application, subject to the standard consent conditions. There was a report which we just received, an updated report dated from City Planning dated the 16th of August, which had no objection to the consent application, subject to their standard consent conditions. They had some recommended conditions on the variances for parts 1 and 6. The front yard setback shall be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawings attached to this report. And for the retained lot, parts 2, 3, 4, and 5, they wanted the building length specified and requested in variance number 6 reduced from 23.11 meters to below 20 meters. Also, that the lot coverage is applicable to the portion of the lot excluding the shared driveway, as seen on the site plan drawing attached to this report. The front yard setback shall be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing attached to this report, and the side exterior main walls be developed substantially in accordance with the north and south side elevation drawings attached to their report. That's a mouthful, I'm sorry, but have you had the opportunity to read that report, Mr. Rubinoff?
Yes, I have.
I just wanted to ask, with respect to parts 2, 3, 4, and 5, planning's request that the building length be reduced from 23.1 meters to below 20 meters. Are you proposing to do that, or would you like to comment on that in your presentation?
Well, I'd like to comment on that in my presentation.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you'd like to give the committee a brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Yes, thank you, everyone. So this is an application that was before committee, I think several years ago. It was a lot severance, but it was a different severance. It was a severance from what I would say a left to right lots, which are side by side, same access on the left-hand side, but that was an application that there was a lot of opposition to. The neighborhood was not happy about it. At the end of the day, my client purchased the property after having been through that. He bought the property after it had been, severed. But we started talking with the neighbors because there were some items that in the original application were not addressed properly. So we had meetings over the last 2.5 years. This is pre-pandemic. We had several meetings in my office, plus some online meetings. This has been a really challenging site, but also a really rewarding in that we've met with the Ratepayers Association and all the immediate neighbors. And we've had several meetings with them, including about maybe less than a week ago, just to verify everything. And we have full support. We've made adjustments as needed to make sure that there's proper distances between the neighbors, that hedges and certain features on the property adjacent to the neighbor are maintained and consistent. We feel this is a very strong application in that it's really been a public consultation, win-win for everybody, because everybody, you'll see from the letters that come in, they're all support letters, or it's a letter that they all submitted. So, at the last minute, we got this note from planning about the length variance. And to be perfectly honest, if you look at the bottom of the site plan, there's a piece that projects forward. It's a part of the house. It's not the entire house. So the length variance is related to the furthest from one side to the furthest to the other side. It doesn't represent exactly what's going on there, But again, we had worked through these plans for like over 2 years to get things where they are so that everyone's happy with it. And I don't think we're prepared at this point to start making more changes, because we really did make an earnest effort to make sure everyone was happy. And we did speak with Lutz several times, the Ratepayers Association, who attended the meetings and also said that, look, if the neighbors are okay with it, he's okay with it. So I feel like the application as presented is appropriate for the use of the site, that the description of the easement, which was addressed in the staff report, can be added. I don't think it's not a variance. It's just simply allowing access over one property to reach the other. And I think it's just a functional difference between how do you get onto your property. But a lot of this, and even Works Department, it's a simpler application than what was before the committee before in many ways. But it's also as a result of a lot of consultation and a lot of feedback. And I really think that the efforts in this case are a win-win for everybody. And we really feel that this application is appropriate for the site and that it does meet the 4 tests. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rubinoff. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Rubinoff, so you're okay with all that planning has asked in their August 16th staff report, except for the comment related to variance number 6, which is the building length.
That's correct.
So I just wanted to confirm that.
Yep.
And I accept
Yep.
your explanations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions of the speaker? Can I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Okay, through you, Mr. Chair. You know, I've listened to the explanations provided by the agent here today, and I've seen what the staff report has sort of diligently laid out for us, which is really great. But I accept the explanations regarding variance number 6 and the length, and compounded by the letters of support and me looking through this application and thinking, personally, I feel it does meet the 4 tests, and the fact that no one is here today to contest that, and they've worked with the Ratepayer Association, I just feel that as amended in the way that it's been done, I think it's been done in with those types of considerations. So for that reason, I'm going to move to approve this application, and I'm going to make it subject to number 1, forestry, and number 2, all of the conditions. I don't know if you need me to go through them, but it's quite lengthy, but I will just say all of the recommendations of the August 16th, 2021 staff report, except for their comment on variance number 6 for the retained lots part 2, 3, 4, 5 of the draft R plan. That's the only one I will make an exception to, that they can indeed have their building length as what they've described, but all other conditions apply. And that's my motion.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Sankar, we also have development, engineering, and urban forestry conditions.
Yes, development engineering, I did mention forestry, but yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Rubinoff, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry, development engineering, and city planning conditions.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Items number 2, 176 Hendon Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That is a Sanaz Nouri. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Good morning.
Yes, madam. Can I get your full name and address, please?
My name is Sanaz Nouri, and the address is 24 Normark Drive, Thornhill, Ontario,
Okay,
L3T3.
Thank you, madam. I just wanted to, I note that we have a number of reports here. There's a recommended condition from urban forestry, city planning, in their report of the 10th of August of 2021, has no objections to your application subject to standard consent conditions. There's a development engineering report of the 26th of May, has no objections to your application subject to standard consent conditions. There's also a letter from Councillor Filion dated the 19th of August, who has had no objection provided the proposal be constructed substantially in accordance with site plan drawings submitted by planning staff. Have you had the opportunity to review that material, madam?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you, madam. Is there, it's pretty clear what you're asking for in the application. I'm just going to ask, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
Yes, actually, I would appreciate if I could have a chance to.
Certainly, please proceed.
Okay, sure. So this consent application has been before committee once before on 2017 and has been approved. However, the conditions were not fulfilled in time, therefore the consent approval has lapsed. There's only a slight modification that needs to be done to the public notice for House Part 2. The reason for this change is that there were 2 sets of drawings uploaded by the public, but the public hearing notice was prepared based on the older version. And once we noticed the difference, it has already been sent out and could not be changed. And there are variances 6, 8, and 9 for which the east and west direction should be changed.
Okay, madam, can I ask, are you proposing to make revisions to your application?
The changes are like not in the nature of the variances nor the numeral values.
Okay, so
it's just the east and west.
I just want to be clear, madam, you're not proposing to make any modifications to the variances that you have before the committee this morning?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can you tell the committee what changes you're proposing to make?
Yes, sure. For variance number 6, for House Part 2.
Just a moment, just a moment.
Should I carry on?
Hang on just a moment. We have to go back here and pull all this information up. Okay. What are the changes to the variances you want to make?
Okay, so for House Part 2, variance 6
Hang on just a moment.
should read.
Just a minute. Ms. Reed, can you put those variances up on? Okay, all right. So variance number 6, what are you proposing to change, madam?
On line 3, it should read the required west side yard setback instead of east is 1.8 meter. A portion of the proposed front canopy is not.
Okay. So line number 6, it says the required east side yard setback is 1.8 meters. You're saying that it should read the required west side yard setback?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, like at the end, is located 1.2 from the west side, west lot line again.
Okay, so so the portion of the proposed front canopy is not covering a platform and is located how far, how many meters?
1.2 meter. It's the same.
1.2 meters
from the
west
but
side.
But it should say
lot. Okay.
Side lot. Yes.
Is there any other changes?
Also variance 8.
Okay,
The last line, it should read, the proposed front porch has a west side yard setback of 1.47 meter
okay,
instead of east.
okay. Anything else?
And again, variance 9, the last line, it should read, the proposed rear deck and balcony have an east side yard setback of 1.2 meter.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Let me just be clear here. Variance number 6 should read west side yard setback, west side yard setback instead of east. Variance number 8, again, instead of east side yard, should be west side yard. And variance number 9, instead of west side yard, should be east side yard. And we've got that correct now, madam?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the committee then?
Yes, the most recent drawings, they reflect actually the change in the west house, which was flipped in the west lot to address urban forestry's concerns. And we have reviewed the planning staff reports and all the other recommendations and letters. I just would appreciate if the most recent drawings dated June 7th, uploaded August 4th on AIC, be tied to this decision of the committee.
Which plans were those, madam?
They were uploaded August 4th on AIC.
Okay, thank you. Is anything else you'd like to add?
No, I would be happy to answer any
Okay,
questions.
thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, just note that we have no one else registered to speak on this application. If I could get a motion on the revised application, please. Mr. Kidd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given the support of the planning staff report and the letter of support from the counselor, I feel that this application is appropriate development for this property. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application as amended for the house on part 2 of the proposed, the draft reference plan. Do you want me to read those?
I don't think that's necessary, Mr. Kidd. Oh, Mr. Kidd, we've lost your audio. Oh, Mr. Kidd, we've lost your audio.
Mr. Kidd, simply you just muted yourself. You're unmuted again.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. The revisions apply to the house on part 2. Requested variances are parts 6, 8, and 9. Those have been previously read into the record. And the application is subject to the conditions.
I think we got the gist of that, but we have a motion from Mr. Kidd to move approval of the revised application subject to urban forestry city planning and development engineering conditions. If I could have someone to move Mr. Kidd's motion. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Madam, your revised application has been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry, city planning, and development engineering conditions.
Thank you, sir. Can I just make sure that for the staff report for House 2, the uploaded.
Well, Madam,
drawing-
we've already approved the application, so
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
subject
Thank
to the
you.
conditions that were contained in that city planning report. Okay, thank you. Item number 3, 184 Young Boulevard. I have one person registered to speak. That's an Ida Evangelista. Are you there, madam?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members. Ida Evangelista on behalf of the owners of 184 Young Boulevard.
Great, thank you very much, madam. We have your application before us. It's pretty clear what you're asking for in the variances. I'm just going to ask, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
Yes, Mr. Chair. There are a couple of things that I would just like to add. There's a couple of typos that we noticed, but it stems from the zoning review, and it doesn't change. Anything on with the variances, but I would just like to go over them. I did actually add it to my submission. I did submit all my photographs just to, outline what it is that we're doing. This is an existing home, but if I can just have your indulgence for a moment, variance number 1 should read northwest lot line.
Okay, which one was that, madam?
Variance number 1.
Okay, hang on just a moment. Variance number 1.
No problem.
As the required side yard says the proposed rear platform is set back 1.24 meters from the northeast lot line. So what you're saying, that should be 1.2
northwest
from the west lot line.
Correct, from the northwest lot line.
Okay, northwest lot line.
Right.
Okay.
Variance number 4.
Okay.
That should read, the proposed platform is 1.2 meters from the southeast side lot line.
Okay, got it. Right now it reads from the southwest side lot line. It should read southeast side lot line.
Correct.
Okay. Any other changes?
Yes. So variance number 6, we did speak to planning, and as you know, this is a below-grade garage, so that's why the platform is being considered second story, although it is off of the main floor. But we are okay with changing it to 10.95 square meters.
Okay, hang on. So just a moment. Right now,
Yeah.
the proposed area of the rear platform is 14.98 square meters, and you're proposing to change it to what figure?
10.95 as discussed with planning.
Okay, so it changes from 14.98 square meters to 10.95 square meters.
That is correct.
Okay, any other changes?
One more.
Okay.
Variance number 10.
Okay.
The numbers were, it was just a reverse. So that should actually read 8.37.
Okay, so.
Not 873.
So it should be 8.37.
Correct.
Okay, so the proposed height of the front and rear main wall is exterior main walls is 8.73 meters. That should be 8.37 meters.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other changes?
That is everything for today.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? If no questions of the speakers, we have no other persons registered to speak on this item. Could I get a motion, please? And I'll just before we make that motion, I'm sorry, Ms. Evangelista, I forgot to indicate there is a report on file with this application dated the 6th of August from City Planning, which is recommending that variance number 6 for the proposed rear platform be modified, which you have done in accordance with their request. I'm sorry I didn't mention that at the beginning. Thank you.
No, that's okay. That's okay, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? None. If I could get a motion on this revised application, please. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm taking the staff recommendations and also the amendments as recently mentioned. Variance number 1 and number 4 has been modified northwest and southeast. Variance number 6 has been already modified to 10.95, and recently it has been amended, variance number 10 to 8.37. Keeping in mind all these modifications, the staff recommends the approval with all these amendments and the condition applied by them or approval.
So you're recommending approving the application, Mr. Khan?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Khan's motion. Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Madam, your revised application's been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members.
Thank you. Item number 4, 67 Glen Park Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That's a Jonathan Rubin. Are you there, sir?
Yes, good morning. I am
Yes,
here,
hello,
Jonathan
sir.
Rubin.
Can I get your full name and address, please?
Sure. My name is Jonathan Rubin, R-U-B-I-N, and I am representing the owners of 67 Glen Park Avenue.
Okay, thank you, sir. I noticed that there are a couple of number of reports here on file with your application. There's one from recommended condition from Urban Forestry. There's a report from City Planning dated the 30th of July, which has no objections to your application, provided the properties developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and east side elevation drawings submitted to the committee, attached as attachments 1 and 2 to their report. There's a report dated the 12th of August from Transportation Services indicating they have no objections to your application, provided that you put a notation on the site plan indicating that you make sure that, you would make a mention of relocating an existing hydro pole so that it is located a minimum of 1 meter from the edge of the driveway. And they want that shown on the plans. And that standard condition that you have to show that take out permits to close and restore the driveway. Have you had the opportunity to review those reports, sir?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have reviewed the reports and recommendations, and we certainly don't have any issues with the conditions and requirements.
Okay, just to ask, sir, I just want to make sure, is that driveway, are you keeping the meter separation from the hydro pole? I don't want to see you get stuck with having to pay a lot of money to relocate a hydro pole.
I thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we had actually looked at that. And our plan is that we do comply. We currently have the meter separation difference, and we do not intend to relocate that hydro pole.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of this? Before we stop, sir, is there anything you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material we have before us this morning?
I do not have anything further to add at this time, and I'm happy to answer any questions the committee members may have.
Thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Please note, with respect to the Transportation Services comments, the applicant's confirmed that he has a meter of separation from the driveway, so that condition from Transportation Services of relocating the hydro pole is redundant. Again, if I could get a motion on this application? Ms. Sankar?
Sorry, yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I do believe that in reviewing this application, it does meet the 4 tests, so I'm going to recommend approval of this application. I'll make it subject to forestry. Even though he's already done what transportation has said, I'm still going to make it subject to the August 12th transportation report, and that sort of secures everything. And as well, the staff report of July 30th, that the property be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and east side elevation drawing submitted to the committee. That's my motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry, city planning, and transportation services conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. Have a good day.
Thank you. We are now on item number 5, 49 Laverne Avenue. I have one person registered to speak, and that is a David Moscal. Are you there, sir?
Yes, Dave Moscal is present.
Okay, thank you, sir. If I could get your full name and address, please.
It's David Moscal, 14 Augustus Terrace, Toronto.
Okay, thank you. Pretty clear what you're asking for in the 2 variances we have before us, sir, and I note that there's only one recommended condition from staff, and that's from urban forestry. Is there anything you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
Yes, sir. Just a small reduction in coverage. The owners are confirming that they're going to go from 34.15% coverage down to a reduction to 33.5.
Okay, hang on.
It represents about 4.
Hang on just a moment. From 30, so you're
Sure,
proposing to change variance number 1 so that the
Correct.
proposed lot coverage is reduced from 34.15% to 33 point what?
33.5%.
33.5%. Okay, thank you. Is that the only change?
Yes.
Okay,
That's the only change, sir.
thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that we were waiting on almost to the last minute for neighbors' signatures, and I have to say that the owners did approach on August 16th their adjacent neighbors of number 51 and number 47. So and here it is in an email saying that they had a good conversation with both owners. They were on board with our plans and had no concerns, but wanted to discuss with their significant others before actually signing. So the clients left them the letters and asked that they would sign and return to our mailbox, but have not done so. But they did do an effort to go over and talk to them in person. And they also sent out letters to 50 Laverne Avenue, 46 Laverne Avenue, and to the rear on Terrain Avenue, number 54, 52, and 50.
Okay, thank you.
That they did make efforts for consultation. And I'd like to also say that we've been in I've been in contact with the area planner, Mike Romero, since last year, December, and just more recently in May and August, just to discuss our 2 variances, and that he was on board and had no issues with them.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Being none, could I get a motion on this revised application? Please note that variance number 1 has been changed, that the proposed lot coverage has been reduced from 34.15% to 33.5%. So if I get a motion on the revised application, Mr. Kidd? Oh, Mr. Kidd, we've lost your audio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me there?
Yes.
I think the proposal as amended meets the purpose of the zoning bylaws. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application with the revision to item number 1, that the proposed lot coverage be changed from 34.15% to 33.5% of the lot area, and also subject to forestry condition.
Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously, sir. Your application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you, committee. Good morning.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just take a 2-minute break. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, committee's back in session. We're now on item number 6, 42 CARONPORT Crescent. I have 4 people registered to speak. And the agent, Jennifer Canning, are you there?
Mr. Chair and members, I'd like to bring to your attention, Jennifer firstly did not register for the meeting. Secondarily, they are not present on the call at this time. They did not provide a phone number, and I do not see them in the list. With that being said, I have reached out to them via email again to try and get a hold of them so we can stand it down for now.
Okay, I'll put this down to the end of the morning session.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now on, move ahead to item number 7, 44 McAdam Drive. I have 1 person registered to speak. And that is Anthony Cesario. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, Mr. Cesario, can I get your full name and address, please?
Yes, it's Anthony Cesario. Address is 54 Humberwood Gate in Vaughan, Ontario.
Okay, thank you, sir. I note that with respect to, there's a report from City Planning dated the 30th of July. And that report recommends eliminating variance number 1 regarding the rear yard landscaping. And again, if the application is approved, that it's developed substantially in accordance with the front elevation drawing submitted to the Committee of Adjustment attaches attachment 1 to this report. Mr. Cesario, have you had the opportunity to read that City Planning report?
Yes, I have, and we concur with removing variance number 1 and building in accordance with the elevation drawings that were submitted.
Okay, so you're proposing to eliminate variance number 1?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there anything, it's pretty clear what you're asking for in the application. I'll just ask, is there anything you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
No, I believe the planning report is pretty straightforward. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this revised application? Please note that variance number 1, which relates to the rear yard soft landscaping, has been deleted. So there are 5 variances instead of 6. So if I could get a motion on the revised application, please. Mr. Khan? Oh, Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sir, I'm taking the recommendation of the staff, and as variance number 1 has been eliminated, I am moving the approval of this application, and it should be developed substantially in accordance with the front elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment, amendment number 1 to this report. It should be approved.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion. Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Cesario, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Item number 8, which is 25.
Mr. Chair, item number 9, number 8 was deferred.
8 is deferred.
I'm sorry, hang on just a moment. Oh, I'm sorry, item number 8's been deferred.
Correct.
Now on item number 9, 121 INVERMAY Avenue. I have 1 person registered to speak. That's Christopher Zianis. Are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Christopher Zianis, 41 Yorkshire Road.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to ask, sir, with respect to, I note that there are a number of reports here on file with your application. There's a recommended condition from Urban Forestry. There's a report from City Planning dated the 9th of August, recommending eliminating variance number 2 for the proposed rear canopy setback into the east side lot line. and also recommending that the revised application be constructed substantially in accordance with the site plan and proposed drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment, date stamped 30th of July, included as attachment number 1 to their report. Just want to ask, are you proposing to eliminate variance number 2?
Yes, sir, we are. And the drawings that were resubmitted on July 30th reflect that change.
Okay, just let me go. So variance number 2 is a proposed rear yard canopy. You're proposing to delete that, which leaves you with 4 variances instead of 5. Is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us today?
Only the item 5 with regards to the front yard setback. The explanation for that is we're actually not changing the existing front yard setback. We are heightening the front wall of the existing home, which is using the front yard setback to be triggered.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the committee, or is that's it?
No, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Okay, if I could get a motion on this revised application, please note that the applicant has eliminated variance number 2 with regards to the proposed rear canopy setback. So if I could get a motion on this revised application, please. Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I do believe that this application upon review meets the 4 tests. I am going to put forward a motion to approve this application. I'll make it subject to forestry and subject to the changes that were made by the applicant here today, and that variance number 2 has been eliminated, and then subject to the staff report of August 9th, and where the proposal be constructed substantially in accordance with the site plan proposed drawing submitted to the Committee of Adjustment that was date stamped July 30th, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Oh, Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions and urban forestry conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have item number 10, 7 Taverley Road. I have one person registered to speak. That is Sia Zanjani. Are you there?
Yes, Sia Zanjani from 15 Allstate Parkway, Markham.
Okay, thank you, sir. Just, can I get you, I note that we have 3 variances before us on your application, and there are no recommended comments or conditions from city staff. Just wanted to ask, it's pretty clear what you're asking for. I'm just going to, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
We actually have nothing further to add. I just want to quickly mention that we do have eight letters of support, and then regarding variance number 1, the reduced side yard setback only relates to a small garage projection on one side, and the majority of the building actually adheres to the 1.8 meter on both sides. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So you're not proposing any changes to the variances before us this morning?
No, we're not.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given that there are no department comments or concerns, and as indicated by the applicant that there are several letters of support, I would move approval of this application.
Mr. Hunt, could you speak up a little bit? Mr. Cons, we're having trouble to hearing you.
Try and...
That's a little better.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. To repeat, given that there are no department comments or concerns, and the applicant having indicated he has, I believe, 8 letters of support, I would move approval of this application.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Hunt to approve the application. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Item number 11, 137 Sheldrake Boulevard, that has been deferred. We are now on item number 12, 104 Fairholme Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That is Glenn Rubinoff. Are you there, Mr. Rubinoff?
Mr. Chair, Glenn seems to have logged off. I'll reach out to him.
Okay, thank you. We'll put this one on hold. Go to item number 13, 124 Craighurst Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That is Sumit Agarwal. I hope I pronounced
Sumit Agarwal.
Yes, hello, sir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can I get your full name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Sumit Agarwal, and my address is 124 Craighurst Avenue, Toronto, Ontario, M4R1K2.
Okay, just wanted to, before we go a little further here, Mr. Wills, the notice that we have before us doesn't have any purpose of the application stated. What should the purpose of, do we know what the purpose of the application is so we can read it into the record?
Are you asking me,
No, I'm
respected
just asking
Chair?
staff. Sir, just a moment, please. I'm just asking staff because I noticed that there's nothing stated on the notice.
Mr. Chair, the purpose of the application is to construct a front yard canopy.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wills. Thank you, sir. We have the one variance before us. I think the committee's pretty clear on what you're asking for. What I wanted to know, sir, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that is contained in the material that not contained in the material we have before us this morning?
Yes, sir. I would need to share my computer if that's okay.
It is not okay. All items that would like to be shared must be shared through city staff.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, this porch is, the covering is already built. When I was living in the house, we noticed that the rain and snow would come in to the front door, and we built this 2 meter by 2 meter canopy on top of the stairs to prevent the snow, ice, and wind from bringing dirt and stuff into the house. The width of the house is 7.5 meters, and the length is the depth is around 40 meters. So compared to that, the canopy itself is around 3.5 meters by 2.5 meters. The covering we are requesting for you guys to approve. It would make my life and the family's life a lot easier if you can approve the canopy, so we won't have to deal with the wind, hail, snow situation when we open the front door. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You're basically just legal. So you're just basically,
yeah.
to summarize, you're legalizing the existing situation, correct?
Yes, sir. And I have one more point to add regarding my neighbors. I am in very good terms with my neighbors. I've spoken with them. They don't really care about this. This issue really happened because I tried to make an office in my backyard and somebody complained, and they brought this to the attention of the city, but that has been taken down, and nobody really, because of the small size of it, nobody really cares about this in my neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application? Please note that we had, the only condition on here is an urban forestry condition. Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I believe this is really minor in nature. There's no complaints. And I understand the purpose of it, which is a very good intention. So I'm going to say that this meets the 4 tests and is indeed, I'll put forward a motion to approve this application and make it subject to forestry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you kindly, everybody.
Okay, item number 14, 565 St. Clements Avenue has been deferred. So on to item number 15.
Mr. Chair, we didn't actually defer 14 yet. Remember, Mr. Lauren Rose wasn't on the call at the time, but he does appear to be on the call now, so we can do that right now.
Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Wills. Item number 14, 565 St. Clements Avenue. I have 2 people registered to speak. The first person is Lauren Rose. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Lauren Rose, 388 Spadina Road. I was there originally. I don't know why you couldn't hear me.
Anyway, sir, you were, I guess we couldn't get a hold of you earlier, so you're here now. I understand that you want to request a deferral. Could I get the reason for the deferral?
Zoning staff missed 2 variances.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that you need to correct your notice. Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Being none, I'll go to the next deputant on the street. I have a Michael Bellman. Are you there, sir? Michael Bellman, are you there?
Mr. Chair, Michael is, he's a call-in user, yep.
I am, yes, I am. I guess you patched me in, yes.
Yes, Mr. Bellman, we have a request from the agent to defer the application. He's missed a couple of variances, so he'd like to defer the application to correct the notice. Do you have an objection to that?
Mr. Chairman, I would just like the record to note that the instructions that were sent out indicated that all participants were to log on or dial in for 9:30 a.m. this morning. Mr. Rose is not a stranger to these proceedings. I have no doubt that his time is valuable. I also know that mine is. It is now quite some time later. If he knew he was going to be seeking a deferral, he should have made every effort to arrange for someone to speak to that at the commencement of this matter. But having said all that into the record, I do not object.
I appreciate your frustration, sir. We share the same thing. So do you have an objection to his requesting a deferral?
I do not object, sir.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker?
I'd like to speak.
I'm sorry.
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Who is that?
It's Lauren Rose. Can I speak?
No, we've already heard from you,
Mr. Chairman. He has an opportunity to respond.
What would you like to speak on, Mr. Rose?
I just wanted on record that I was dialed in, and this, I heard everything you said. I can tell you exactly what happened. So I don't know why city staff couldn't hear me, but I've been on, and I'm on my phone to make sure that it's still correct. If there's a problem, it's not with my phone. It's with the city system. So I did every effort. I actually logged on very early. So I was there to deal with this. So if the neighbors said about it, it's not my responsibility.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, sir. Could I get a motion on the deferral request, please? Mr. Kidd? Oh, Mr. Kidd, we can't hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to put forward, you can hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to put forward a motion to defer the application sine die to allow the applicant to revise the application work with the planning staff for the revisions
Mr. Chairman, the application was deferred in order to address the missed variances, not to make changes.
It's, yeah, Mr. Kidd, it's to address the variances that he's missed. The notice
Okay.
has to be corrected.
Okay, I'd like to allow him to meet with planning staff to add additional variances to his application.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been deferred to the next available meeting so that you can make corrections to the notice. Good luck. Item number 15. We are at 15 Lantos Court. I have one person registered to speak. That's 12 Lantos Court, pardon me. Item number 15. I have the agent, Tony Enriquez. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, hello, sir. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Yes, Tony Henriquez, 543 Concord Avenue, and I'm the on behalf of the owner.
Okay, thank you, sir. It's you have one variance before us regarding lot coverage. I note that there are no recommended conditions or comments from staff. The committee's pretty clear on what you're asking for. Is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
No.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. While there are no staff recommendation and it's a minor variances and complies with the zoning bylaw, so I move it should be approved.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 16.
Mr. Chair, before we go to 16, item number 6, looks like Jennifer is on now. So if you want, we can go do that item.
Okay. Committee, we'll go back to item number 6, which is 42 CARONPORT Crescent. Just a moment here. Item 6, 42 CARONPORT Crescent. I have 4 people registered to speak. I have Jennifer Canning. Are you there?
Hi, everybody. Jennifer Canning here from 42 CARONPORT Crescent.
Yes, can I get your full name and address, please?
Yep, Jennifer Canning, 42 CARONPORT Crescent.
Okay, thank you. I have, Madam, I note that there are no recommended condition or staff comments with respect to your application. We have 2 variances before us, both related to east and west side yard setbacks, but I note that there are 3 other persons registered to speak. So if you could give us a brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to let you know that we've been living here for about 14 years now. My son was not quite 1 when we moved in. We love the area. This is going to be our forever home. Not planning on moving anytime soon. At any rate, we're applying for a minor variance of 3 inches on both east and west sides of the house. Our house was built in 1958, not complying with the 1.8 meter side lot line setback. Our bungalow is a double brick home with no insulation in the walls. Having just completed an energy audit at the beginning of June, we were informed that the majority of the heat loss in our home is through the walls. We would like to insulate the exterior walls of our house with foam stucco in order to make it more energy efficient and to reduce our carbon footprint.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the speaker? I have one, next person on the list. I have an Eby or John Landry. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, they are not present on the call at this time.
Okay, thank you. We'll take them off the list. Next person on the list is Tarek Kaissi, Kaissi. Are you there?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, hello,
My
sir.
name is Tarek Case. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. It's hard. They're a little bit difficult to understand. Can you give us your full name and address, please?
Certainly. My name is Tarek Casey. I live at 45 CARONPORT Crescent. I'm the owner of 45 CARONPORT Crescent. And I would like to speak on this matter. I received a letter from your committee regarding this minor application, and I would like the chance to comment on this matter.
Okay, thank you. So do you have any objections to the variances?
I support the variance, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Any
I
questions
do
to
have
the
some.
speaker? I have next person on the list, Romeo.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think he's finished speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll
He's
go
speaking.
back
I would
to
like
the
to.
previous speaker. Are you there, sir? Tarek?
Yes, I'm
sorry,
here, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so just to let you know, the houses were built in 1958 and they do not comply. None of them comply to the zoning bylaw of North York. For instance, my house that was built 48 inches or 4 feet from the property line. And that's how the houses are built. My next door is like that, and my next door, I live immediately in front of Mrs. Canning. So for me, 3-inch variance, to reduce the side yard setback from 72 inches to 69 inches is truly in accordance to the 4 tests of the what is basically a minor variance. It complies with all 4 tests. It does not. It's not even visible to the eye when you walk around. The neighbor did all she could do to comply and reduce her footprint of her carbon energy. I truly believe it's a minor variance and that she should be allowed to do it, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's good to hear.
Mr. Chair and members, I do actually see here the Landrys are registered under their own last name exclusively, so I think they actually are on the call. So if you want to,
Okay,
EB and John Landry, we can give them a shot here.
We'll go back, Mr. Wills, just a sec. Are there any questions of the current speaker? Being none, we'll go back to EB or John Landry. Are you there?
Hello. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can we get your full name and address, please?
Yes.
Can I get your full name and address, please, madam? Did we lose them?
No, Mr. Chair, they're still present on the call.
Hello,
I can see
madam, can I
them.
get your, can you hear us? EB and John Landry?
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
hello, we can hear you.
Okay, because it keeps saying that the host has to unmute me, and I'm just unmuted now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I get your full name and address?
Yes, it's EB Landry, and I'm at 40 CARONPORT Crescent.
Okay, thank you. If you'd like to give us your thoughts on this application?
I simply want some detail. I'm not necessarily opposed. There's no detail. So from my understanding, my neighbor Jennifer wants to put some insulation in her home and stucco her home. Is that correct?
That's correct, and it just slightly changed. It appears to change the side yard setbacks, alters the side yard setbacks due to those modifications.
Okay, because we're pretty close already. So my concern is it 3 inches? Am I reading that correctly?
Okay, well, we can ask the applicant to address that when she comes back on after you've made your comments.
Okay, well, my concern is just that it, the look in the neighborhood and, how do we know what color this stucco is? How's it gonna look? Also, we've been in some legal battle, unfortunately, with our neighbor, and she has put up some cameras before, and she's been told to not put up cameras. So if I'm that much closer, I just want to ensure there's no camera going on that side.
Madam, those are not issues that are dealt with by the committee. That you'd have to discuss those with her privately.
Well, perhaps she can comment on that.
We can't comment on it, madam. They're not related to the minor variance.
I said she can comment on those items.
It's not, she can comment on them between you and her, but that's not privy, that's a private issue that's not privy to the committee.
Okay, that's fine. So can I get some details as to how close it would be? Is it 3 inches?
No.
Is there a color that's going up?
We'll refer that back to, she's on the line, so she's heard what you've been saying, so she can comment when we go back to her. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. We'll go to any questions of the speaker? Being not, we'll go to the next person on the list. I have Romeo Tirona and Sharon Griffiths. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, they are not present on the call at this time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wills. We'll go back to Ms. Canning. Are you there?
I sure am.
Okay, you've heard the comments from the previous speakers. If you'd like to address them, please.
Okay, yeah, the stucco is going to be a maximum of 3 inches. So there's foam insulation and then the stucco goes on top.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Kidd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I feel this is a modest proposal, and I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application without condition.
Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Madam, your application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Glenn Rubinoff is back on for item number 12, so we can go tackle that one again.
Okay, item number 12, 104 Fairholme Avenue. Mr. Glenn Rubinoff, are you there?
Yes, I am. I apologize. Earlier I was on a...
Mr. Rubinoff,
Okay.
we held your item. That's item number 12, 104 Fairholme Avenue. Just going to go back and find it on the agenda here. It was a pretty straightforward application. You have only one variance before the committee relating to the rear deck projection. I note that there are no comments or conditions recommended by staff. Just wanted to ask, sir, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material we have before us this morning?
Sure. Just really quickly, the depth variance is tied to the height of the deck. The deck is just slightly higher than what the bylaw permits. So we're at 1.61 meters and the bylaw permits 1.2 meters. So the additional depth is related to just being a slight bit higher than what the permitted deck can be. So it's not an overlook issue for anybody. It's just simply a question of the bylaws written. And we have it coming out at the main floor level. We didn't want to have step downs in the middle of the, having this from the deck or from the house down to a deck. We just wanted to have it flush. So that's the reason for the variance. It's just because it's a slight bit higher than the bylaw, and that's why we're here today.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Sir, I have a question, if you allow.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Khan, you have a question of Mr. Rubinoff?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, you are submitting this 11th hour submission of a raised platform. It does not have the review of the staff, so I don't know where we stand on this one.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand. This was submitted to the city. It's gone through a zoning review. It's gone through review by staff. Nobody
But
has
it
any
does not-
concerns expressed.
Sir, it does not reflect the submission that we have. We have only variance number 1, which is the deck projection
That's all.
3.81. That's all
That
we
is
have.
the variance. Yeah, that is the variance. There's only one variance. There's no.
Okay, that is all we are going to comment, and that is all I am going to make the motion next.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are no staff recommendation on this one. This is my move, and this is a minor variation, previously approved. It should be approved again.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion from Mr. Khan to approve the application. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now on item number 16. 19 Findlay Boulevard. I have 3 people registered to speak. The first is the agent, Joe Domb, D-O-M-B. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Sir, can I get your full name and address, please?
Yes, my name is Joe Dome, 1101 Steeles Avenue West, agent for the owner.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to let you know a couple of reports from the city with respect to your application. It's a recommended condition from Urban Forestry. There's also a report from City Planning dated the 10th of August, which is recommending refusing variance number 3 for the proposed number of stories. And should the committee choose to approve this revised application, staff recommends that the proposal be constructed substantially in accordance with the north elevation and south elevation drawings submitted to the committee and attached as attachments 1 and 2 to their report. I just wanted to ask, sir, if you were to delete variance number 3, does that effectively send you back to the drawing board with respect to your design?
It would, in regards to the main wall height, that would have to be changed as well.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask, sir, that being the case, would you like to defer the application to discuss it further with city planning, or would you like to proceed today with the application as it currently stands?
We would like to proceed today.
Okay, we have a number of people who'd like to speak on this application, so if you could give the committee a presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal, and again, you'll have to address that recommendation from city planning regarding eliminating the 3rd story.
Yes, yes. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the neighbors who have written in and who are attending the hearing today. We understand the concerns you have outlined in your letters and what you have communicated to the owner. And we also understand, as you mentioned, that planning staff has recommended the refusal of the 3rd story variance, while also stating that should the committee approve, the decision should be tied to the north and south elevations. I would like to highlight why many of the neighbor concerns mentioned are not reflective of the actual impact of the proposed dwelling. We feel that a big part of the confusion is the 3rd story designation and how that affects other variances. The owner is proposing to build a multi-generational home as required for his family's livability needs, and the home is located in a high radon area. And with the family living in the basement, the intention was to minimize any potential radon exposure by digging underground to a lesser degree. And due to this factor, the proposal was considered as a 3rd story dwelling. We feel this is primarily a technical variance. Due to the 3rd story variance, it also triggered variances for the decks. What would be the rear main floor deck is now considered a second floor deck, and the second floor deck is considered a third story deck. So variances 5 and 6 regarding the decks at or above second story are only there because of variance number 3, designating it a 3-story. Regarding variance number 2, side main wall height, as you can see on the north and south elevations, the variance of 9.07 meters only pertains to the gables, while the majority of the side main wall height is actually 7.9 meters. Variance number 4 for length, we're proposing 17.98 meters, and there are examples of greater length approved at 19 and 31 Norcross Road. Variances 7 and 8 referring to side yard setback are also well established in the area, both on the street and in the surrounding area. And I'd like to point out that the proposal meets the new bylaw for height, and that most of the neighbor opposition to height is simply a result of only considering the old bylaw and not the new. And furthermore, 193 Reiner Road was approved as a 3-story dwelling. Also visually, if you could bring up the document titled Supporting Materials.
It's on mute.
Is there? Okay.
Just please continue, though. We are bringing it up for you.
Okay. So if we compare the front-facing elevation on A308 to other builds, including right across the street at 2 Embro Drive, as well as 2 streets east, also at 18 Norcross Road and 206 McAllister, you can see how the visual impact from the streetscape is not out of character in the area. These are all in the same zone as the subject property. And yeah, so this is 2 Embro Drive, and this is right across the street from the subject property. And if you go down to the next page, there's 18 Norcross Road. It's in the same zone, 2 streets east, and down as well. The next street just south of that is 206 McAllister. And aside from the 3-story designation, we feel that the proposed dwelling fits with the builds in the area, and that when taken in context, the proposed dwelling is reasonable and minor in nature. And we would point to those planning staff recommendations that should committee approve, that be tied to the north and south elevations. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, I just, if I could just ask, sir, just to be clear, the overall height of the proposed building complies with the new citywide bylaw. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Does the, I'll just ask, does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, I'll go to the next person on the list. I have a Kelwin Meng, M-E-N-G. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, they are not present on the call at this time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wills. They're off the list. Next person on the list is Nicola and Anita Palazzo. Are you there?
Yes, I'm Rosie Palazzo. I am their daughter. I do have them here with me. They live at 17 Findlay Boulevard, directly next door to the proposed building.
Okay, thank you, madam. If you'd like to give us your thoughts on this application.
Absolutely. So the large elevated platform at above the 2nd story level will infringe upon the right to privacy. The issues are compounded further by the size of the building, the height of the building, and the length of the building. The floor of the proposed 2nd story deck will be built above the 6-foot privacy fence. That would provide the owners of the home the ability to look down upon the goings on of my parents' backyard because it is directly adjacent to their outdoor living area. So it would deprive them of any backyard privacy. That would also apply to the 3rd story balcony, which would provide them an even better view of the entire backyard. And then we also had some concerns with respect to some of the variances and discrepancies between the variances and the site plan. So Well, the first one I had indicated was that the drawing indicates a 2-story building where the variance indicates a 3-story building, but understanding that the elevated basement, that's been clarified in this meeting. The other issue is that if we look at most of the site plan drawings, they indicate the building height is listed at 10 meters, not the 9.46 meters that is included in variance number 9. So that would bring it 1.2 meters higher than the allowable permitted building height, which is 8.8 meters. Then we also noticed that in drawing A101, it implies an allowable building height of 10 meters, but that is inconsistent with variance number 9. Bylaw number 9. Then we also noticed that the height of the side exterior main walls facing a side lot line is 9.7 meters. However, the proposed building height is 9.46 meters. So there was a discrepancy between the height of the building being lower than the height of the side walls. And with respect to other homes in the building, the overall height, width, depth of this building is inconsistent with the majority of the houses in the area. The home directly across the street, number 2 Embro Drive, actually is, I believe, is a smaller footprint than what they are proposing, and it is also a corner lot. So they are not as imposing a structure to their next door neighbors because they really only have one neighbor. Also, I would like clarity on the new citywide bylaw for height. Does it differ from what is included in the requested variances?
Okay, thank you, Madam. Will you refer that question will be answered by the agent when he comes back.
Okay, and so we also oppose the side, so basically any height, width, lot size, depth, we oppose those variances because it does then create the fishbowl effect for my parents and anyone who decides to visit them.
Okay, thank you, Madam. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll go back to the agent. Are you there, sir? Mr. Dom, D-O-M-B, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, you heard the comments from the previous speaker. If you'd like to reply to them, please.
Yes, I have heard the comments. So I feel I've addressed many of those issues in the presentation. And I would like to reiterate once again regarding the height. The proposed dwelling does meet the new bylaw for height. And I think that's just where a lot of the confusion is. And as far as privacy goes, we'd be willing to install privacy screening as well around the decks, if that is a concern for neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. After listening the opposition and their concerns, I am of the opinion that it sounds reasonable that variance number 3, which is 3-story, and variance number 5, 2 platforms, and variance number 6, rear decks area 21.5, their concern is right, is the privacy. Therefore, it doesn't seem that these variances are minor. They do not comply with the zoning bylaw or the intent of the official plan, nor they meet the character of the neighborhood of the single-story or double-story houses. Therefore, I move that this application be refused.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. We have a motion for Mr. Khan to refuse the application. Could I have someone second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Oh, okay. I have a unanimously. Ms. Sankar seconded. Mr. Kidd and Mr. Hunt were also in favor of your application, sir. Your application has been unanimously refused. Thank you very much. Item number 17, 34 Morewood Crescent. I have one person registered to speak. That is the agent, Jonathan Benskowski. Are you there?
Morning, sir.
Can I get your full name and address, please?
Jonathan Benskowski, 301 Keewatin Avenue.
Okay, thank you, sir. I note that there's one city report on file with your application from City Planning dated the 19th of August. They appear to have no objections, provided that the proposal is constructed substantially in accordance with the side, east and west elevation drawings submitted to the committee and included as attachments 1 and 2 to their report. Just wanted to ask, sir, if you had the opportunity to review that report.
Yes, sir. I have no issue with it. It basically just deals with the projections of the front portion of the dwelling that are included in the side main wall height. So I have no issues with the report.
Okay, thank you. Pretty clear what you're asking for in the application, sir. I think the committee's pretty clear on the variances you're requesting, so I'll just ask, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this morning?
I would just say that this is our second time at the committee. We were here back in early spring for a modern flat roof dwelling. We were refused, and we've come back with a traditional dwelling based upon the comments from the neighbors at that hearing.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I believe that coming back with this evolved application does sit really well with me. Reviewing this, I do believe it meets the 4 tests, and I'm willing to put forward a motion to approve this application and make it subject to the August 10th staff report that the proposal be constructed substantially in accordance with the side, east, and west elevation drawings submitted to committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 18, 22 Melrose Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That's Enzo Locazano. Are you there? Enzo Locazano, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, hello. Thank you. Can I get your full name and address, please?
It's Enzo Locasano from Arch TWG at 130 Bridgeland Avenue.
Thank you, sir. I know
in Toronto.
The only comments we have from staff are from Urban Forestry, a recommended condition. It's pretty clear what you're asking for in the variances that we have before us, sir. Is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material we have before us this morning?
No, just to add that we have submitted the application as per the forestry condition. And we do have an arborist report as well. And that that existing shed that exists in the backyard now will be removed in order to increase the green space more directly adjacent to the house and to create this small studio space at the back.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please?
I think we have a question.
Mr. Khan?
Sir, I have a question, if you allow.
I'm sorry, Mr. Khan, I couldn't hear you.
Sir, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Khan, you have a question of the speaker?
Yes, sir, I do. Mr. Lorenzo.
Yes.
My question is, for your consideration, your variance number 1 You are asking ancillary structure setback 0.30, which is a concern of mine. You want to modify or do anything about it?
No, because that abuts the rear of the rear property line, which actually abuts a school on the back. So there is no impact to the school. And also that area at the back becomes unusable. So there is no point to maintain a 2-meter setback from there, as it will cause, or it will create a nice buffer between the school and the residents.
Sir, you're not you're talking about the impact, but I'm saying you're not complying with the zoning bylaw. It's not the impact, it's the zoning.
I
bylaw
understand
you have
that.
to comply.
Right, but this part of the bylaw is in reflection not to the setback, but in relation to the height of the building. So since we do meet the height of the building, its setback is a ratio of the height of the building. If this was a garage, I would be allowed to go to 0.3. So it's no difference whether this is a garage or a studio. Just that, but because of this portion of the bylaw and the width, or the depth of the lot, it's tied into the height, and that's what creates the 0.3 setback. And we have no intention to change that.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any further questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I'm willing to accept the explanations provided by the agent here today, and in light of the type of application that there is. And I'm going to put forward a motion as a result of that to approve this application and make it subject to forestry condition number 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. That motion carries. Sir, your application's been approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Item number 19, 132 Elmhurst Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. It's the agent, Joseph Campitelli. Are you there, sir?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, sir. I can hear you. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Excellent. My name is Joseph Campitelli, agent on behalf of the owners at 10 Burr Oak Avenue in Markham.
Okay, thank you, sir. I note that there's a report on file with your application dated August 10th. And that report recommends modifying variance number 3 for the lot coverage from 43.85% to 34.3%, of which 32% shall be for the dwelling and 2.3% for the rear yard shed. And refuse variance number 5 for the proposed roof eaves west side yard setback of 0.4 meters. So I just wanted to ask, sir, did you want to modify variance number 3 as requested by planning and to delete variance number 5?
Well, we're here. We had several discussions after the variances were listed, and we have made modification to the site plan. If you go to our drawing A100.
Sir, just before you go any further, are you proposing to make changes to your application?
Well, we have agreed to, as per planning suggestion, to modify the coverage request because it was all due to an oversized deck that was trying to be maintained by the owners. So we had reduced the deck size to 5% coverage. Okay, and now, yeah.
Can you tell the committee, can you go through the application and tell the committee what exactly those modifications are that you're making?
Okay, so simply the home will remain as 32% coverage and a rear
Okay, sir,
shed.
Sir,
Right.
can you go through you have 5 variances listed. Go through those 5 variants and tell us which one of those variances are being changed and what changes are being made.
Okay, so the change to variance number 3
Okay,
to permit a lot coverage of 30%. So we are.
right now it reads the proposed lot coverage is 43.85%. So what are you changing it to?
Okay, sorry, I'm just 34.3.
Okay, so you're changing it to what?
34.3% as recommended or agreed with.
Okay, so you're changing it from
34.3%.
you're changing it from 43.85% to 34.3%.
Correct.
Okay, is there any other variances that are being changed?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. And variance number 5, you're not proposing to change that, correct?
Well, variance number 5 is very difficult. The short answer is no, we cannot change that variance. I would like to have an opportunity to explain how we're improving the site conditions rather to try to make significant adjustment to the roof of the home.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to ask, sir, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us today?
Yes, I would.
Is there anything that you'd like to tell us that isn't contained in the material that we have before us today?
Yes.
Again, please proceed.
If we could share the screen to sheet number 204, A204. The purpose of sheet A204, which is an existing roof plan of the home. And this is to speak specifically to the west side of the property and its eaves relationship to the property line. Currently, the way the roof is shedding is to the east and west direction. I believe the purpose of the bylaw to eliminate or try to avoid adverse effects of water shedding and snow to the side lot is to increase its setback projection, permittance for projections of eaves. I want to note that if you please go to A205, you'll see that elevation. So on the left of your screen to the side of the house, you'll see that the current eaves is within 4 inches of the property line. And that the direction of the shedding of water is to the left and right of the property, east and west. If you please go to A401 is our proposed plan, or sorry, proposed elevation. A401 is our response to a better design and an opportunity to reduce any watershed and snow impact to the west property line specifically. If you please go to A401 there, and on the left side, the relationship of our proposed roof and to the existing roof are exactly in line. We have some opportunity if the committee suggests or recommends a minor reduction. Currently, we have a 12-inch soffit on the side of the house. And this is primarily for air circulation and proper building science to the roof design. We have no intention to increase adverse effects on the next door property, but redirect water and snow to the front and back where we would be able to better manage water drainage. I would like to highlight the neighbor to the west, 136 Elmhurst, in as much every 5 additional or 4 additional neighbors, so 5 letters of support who have reviewed our application and our variance specific to the roof design in the home to the west property neighbor. The neighbors' long-term standing have been trying to, with a growing family and aging family members, trying to add a few more, the extension on the rear and top up. But we're, due to economy and trying to stay respectful to the streetscape, not make a larger home, but go up in nature and provide a better footprint for the use of the home. And we are trying to stay in line. The intent is with the existing footprint so as not to increase construction along the home or construction costs by tearing it entirely down to move over.
Okay, thank you, sir. Again, just one thing I forgot to add, we also had a late report from Councillor Filion, which was dated the 19th of August, regarding your application. He was in support of the report from planning staff, just to let you know, in case you haven't seen it. I'll just ask, does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we have no other persons registered to speak, so if I could get a motion on this application, please. Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. The explanations provided here by the applicant does sit well with me, especially with the changes that they've made to address staff concerns. So I appreciate that. And I will put forward a motion to approve this application. And I'm going to make it subject to the changes made by the agent here today, and that variance number 3 has been reduced to 34.3%. And that's the only change he's made, and I'm willing to accept that. And I just am double checking. I don't think this is subject to forestry in any way, and that's my motion.
And the only other partial condition from city planning, Ms. Sankar, was that if the application was approved, it's subject constructing the proposal substantially in accordance with the west elevation drawing submitted and date stamped received August 3rd, included as attachment 1 to this report. Did you want to include that as part of your condition?
Yes, thank you for that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar.
Yes, I would.
Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been approved subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Item number 20. I have 121 Felbrigg Avenue. I have one person registered to speak, Kelly Lem, L-E-M. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, good afternoon, and members of the committee.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Yes, I have Kelly Lem at 201 Wickseed Avenue, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, thank you, sir. I note that there's a report on file with your application. That's from City Planning dated the 6th of August. They're recommending modifying variance number 3 for the proposed lot coverage from 45.65% to 39%. Modifying variance number 4 for the proposed platform area from 15.25% to 8.91%. Pardon me, 8.91 square meters, I'm sorry. And eliminate variance number 5 for the rear soft yard landscaping. And if the application is approved, it's subject to constructing the proposal substantially in accordance with the west elevation drawing submitted and date stamped received August 3rd, 2021, included as attachment number 1 to this report. Just want to ask, sir, did you have the opportunity to read that report?
Yes, sir, I have.
And were you proposing to modify the application as recommended by city planning?
Yes, yes, we are.
Okay, so let's just go through the application, so for the benefit of the committee and the audience, that we make sure that we know what we're changing here. If you could go through the notice, sir, and just tell us which variances you're proposing to change.
Yes, we're proposing to change variance number 3, and that is reducing the lot coverage from 45.65% to 39%.
Okay,
For variance number 4, we're reducing the platform at the second floor from 15.25 square meters to 8.91 square meters.
okay.
And we are eliminating variance number 5.
Variance number 5 is deleted. Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think it's pretty clear what you're asking for in the application, sir, but I'll just ask, is there anything that you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us this afternoon?
Yes, in addition to some of the support letters that's been on file, I do have additional signed support and letters in a total of 7. More importantly, I have an immediate neighbor on the east side, number 119, signing support as well.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this revised application? Just please note, variance number 3 has been changed to read that the proposed lot coverage has been reduced from 45.65% to 39%. Variance number 4, the area of the second-story platform has been reduced from 15.25 square meters to 8.91 square meters. And variance number 5, relating to the rear yard soft landscaping, has been deleted. So if I could get a motion on that revised application, please. Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Having listened to the applicant and recognizing that they have made the modifications as identified in the August 6th planning report, you want me to read those modifications?
No, we don't have to go through that again, sir.
Okay, and the fact that the most immediately impacted neighbor has indicated support, I would move approval of this application as amended.
Okay, and that would be subject to constructing the proposal substantially in accordance with the west elevation drawing submitted and date stamped, received August 3rd, 2021, included as attachment 1 to this report, to their report.
Correct.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
thank
Hunt.
you.
Someone to second that motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Have a great day.
We're now on item number 21, 603 Castlefield Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That is Derek Lai, L-A-I. Are you there?
Hi, Mr. Chair. Yes, I am here.
Yes, sir. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Sure. My full name is Derek Lai. My address is 38 Cameron Street in Toronto. I am the architect and applicant for the file at 603 Castlefield.
Great. Thank you, sir. I note that there is only one staff comment on your application. That's from Urban Forestry, a recommended condition. There are no other persons registered to speak on your application. I think it's pretty clear what you're asking for in the variances before us. I'll just ask the committee if there's any, I would just ask, sir, if there's anything you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material we have before us this afternoon.
No, I do not have anything further to add to the file.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Lai, my concern is your FSI is so high, 0.771. Could you explain why you are above the zoning bylaws?
It's actually in line with the other properties in the neighborhood and along the street. 0.771 is not going above and beyond what has been previously kind of permitted in the area. So it was in our opinion that is within kind of what's been previously approved.
Sir, my concern is not what others have done. My question to you is, sir, you have exceeded the allowable floor space index, and that is very high. Why?
To kind of achieve what the homeowner has asked us to for the program of the house, we needed to get to this kind of density for the property.
But you are the architect.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any further questions of the speaker? Being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I would agree with Mr. Khan that looking at, this floor space index, it does seem quite high, but in the overall spectrum of looking at the application itself, I get it and I understand, and I don't believe that it's overall sticking out in comparison to the other homes that are there within the neighborhood. So I do believe that it meets the 4 tests, and I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application, and I will make it subject to forestry condition number 2, and that's it, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Sir, your application has been approved subject to urban forestry conditions.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next application is item number 22, 1352 Mount Pleasant Road. I have 3 people registered to speak.
Mr. Chair, as a note, quickly, Lutz Fulgraf is not on the call today, but the other area resident, Jessica Asfar, is.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, Lutz Fulgraf is not there. Okay, thank you. So I have 2 people registered to speak, and the agent is a Babak Nagash. Are you there?
Yes, I am here, Mr. Chair.
Can I get your full name and address, please, sir?
Yeah, my name is Babak Nagash. 83 Galaxy.
Sir, you have to speak up. We're having trouble hearing you. Hello, sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Babak, please move closer to your microphone. It sounds like you are very far away.
We can't hear you, sir. Hello, sir, are you there? Mr. Nagash?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Okay, thank you. That's better. Can we get your full name and address, please?
Etobicoke, Ontario, Unit 13. I'm representing the owner on his behalf for this property address.
Okay, it's very hard to hear you, sir. Your voice is very muffled. Are you speaking directly into your phone?
Mr. Chair, it should be noted that Babak has logged in both on his computer and on his phone. So we've got his phone connection going right now.
Yeah.
Sir, just speak into your phone. Don't use your computer. Turn it off.
Can you hear me better now?
That's better. Yes, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you,
Sorry.
sir. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Yes, my name is Babak Nagash, 83 Galaxy Boulevard, unit number 13, Etobicoke, Ontario. I'm representing the owner for this application.
Okay, thank you, sir. Just wanted to let you know there is a report on file regarding your application, it's from City Planning. It's dated the 11th of August. And they're recommending refusing your landscaping variance. And I just wanted to know, sir, does that have a significant impact on your proposal, and would it require a redesign of the entire project?
Yeah, we are here for variance number. Okay.
So if that's the case, sir, would you like to defer the application to discuss this issue further with City Planning?
I would like to proceed with the application, just delete variance number 1 and proceed with variance number 2, 3, and 4.
So you'd like to delete variance number 1?
Yes, we are going to comply with the zoning bylaw
sir,
and planning.
Sir, it's hard to hear you. You're very muffled, so you have to be very clear on what you're saying. Are you proposing to delete variance number 1?
We are proposing to delete variance number 1.
Okay, all right, thank you. Variance number 1 is being deleted. Thank you. Okay, that being the case, you only have the 3 variances before us. Is there anything you'd like to tell the committee that isn't contained in the material that we have before us today?
I'm happy to answer any question they have.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Please note that he has deleted the landscaping variance, which was recommended for refusal by City Planning. So does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? I'm sorry, wait, my mistake. We have one other person registered to speak. My apologies. I have a Jessica Afshar. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, hello, madam. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Jessica Afshar, 78 Dinnick Avenue, or Dinnick Crescent, sorry.
Okay, thank you, madam. Just to be clear, the applicant has deleted variance number 1 relating to the rear yard landscaping variance. That's been deleted. He only has the 3 variances relating to building length, floor space index, and west side yard setback remaining.
So I'm wondering, will there be new plans submitted that show the new landscaping plans that this is deleted?
Not in I can ask Mr. Wills, will he be required to submit another plan? Mr. Wills?
Can you please repeat the question?
So the fact that he's deleted the variance, will he have to submit new plans to show what the rear yard landscaping would be?
The rear yard landscaping will now comply with the zoning bylaw, and as such, plans don't need to be resubmitted to committee. They can just go forward with their building application with the plans showing that the rear yard landscaping meets the zoning bylaw.
So in the current plans that were submitted, there were no, there's a family room or a kitchen sliding door that do show no deck or no stairs from that particular opening. And when I spoke to the planner, he said that there was a plan for a 4x4 deck, but there are nothing showing on the plans of that. So what I just wanted to make sure is what they're proposing is actually reflected in the plans. So we are property owners that are facing new construction on all 3 sides adjoining our property, on the west, the east, and the north. And I have to say, overall, we're in favor of this proposal, as the current home on 1352 Mount Pleasant is quite the eyesore in the neighborhood. And the proposed planner has made an impressive design that will enhance the current home and improve its overall condition that is currently has not been maintained and is in disrepair. So I did reach out to the planner regarding 2 concerns that we had with the plan. And as the proposed home sits further back than our home, with the 2nd floor addition, it will impact our privacy, where the bathroom window in the northwest corner looks directly into our master bedroom and bathroom. So when I spoke to the planner architect, he was very cooperative and understanding, and he agreed to make that window obscured and frosted to ensure the privacy is maintained. However, the City of Toronto website is currently down and not allowing to pull any site or any images. So I just wanted to make sure what the planner has indicated to us is reflected in the plans. Given that this is our third time around with all the construction around us, what previous planners have promised and said they would do hasn't been reflected in the change. So I just wanted to make sure that whatever is proposed, and the same thing with the rear yard landscaping, is that it is truly indicated on the plans and that those plans are followed through.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We'll refer your comments to the agent when he comes back up.
Thank you.
Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Being none, we'll go back to the agent. Mr. Nagash, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
You heard the comments from Ms. Jessica
Yes.
Sharp.
So yeah, I have a,
Please.
thanks for Jessica's call. I have spoken to Jessica already. She has a concern about one window on the second floor, the bathroom window, which we're gonna make it upscale window for privacy. So we'll be more looking to her backyard, to the second floor of this house. And as far as the landscaping goes, we're going to comply with the 50% landscaping, 50% with including just a 4 feet by 4 feet wood deck. In case it would be the back would be visible. We put a privacy wall on her side, so to please her, and that's my reply to her. I have spoken to her already. So this I can send her a revised drawing for her confirmation, and you can note it on the file as well.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would ask the presenter that floor space index is double the amount of allowable by the zoning bylaw. How do you justify this one?
Yeah, Mr. Khan, we are not adding the existing house, the existing second floor, the same footprint. All we're doing on this property, there's undesirable roof lines. We are removing the roof and second floor, and we're building the same footprint on this property. So basically, the floor index is not changing as it is. It will stay there. So basically, changing the undesirable roof line to make it desirable for this property.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does the committee have any further questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this revised application? Please note that variance number 1 relating to the landscaping variance has been deleted. There's just the 3 remaining variances. And there are no other conditions recommended by staff. Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I share Mr. Khan's concern about the floor space index. However, looking at the existing structure out there, and kind of it's a bit of an unusual lot, I am persuaded by the agent that this is an appropriate proposal. As amended, I think it meets the purpose of the zoning bylaws. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application with the deletion of variance number 1 with regard to proposed rear yard soft landscaping, and otherwise without condition.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second Mr. Kidd's motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. Pardon me. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Now on item number 23, which is 107 St. Clements Avenue. I have 2 people registered to speak. And I have the owner, Amanda Voiglade Sutton. Are you there?
Yes, Amanda Vuglade Sutton. I'm here. I'm the homeowner for 107 St. Clements Avenue.
Okay, thank you, madam. Could I get your, I note that there's one other person registered to speak, so if you could give us a, I note that there are no staff comments or recommended conditions from municipal staff, so if you'd like to give us a brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, I'm one of the homeowners at 107 St. Clements, along with my husband, Alexander. I would like to start first by saying that we love our home. It was built in 1919 and still retains many of its original characteristics. We're looking to preserve as much of that original character as possible, but are planning on starting a family, and so we require more space. So the addition we are requesting would let us retain the original character of the home we love, while giving us the space that we need. Regarding the proposed extension, the building length variance, we feel that this extension will bring our home in alignment with the homes around us, and specifically with our immediate neighbors. I sent in some photos as part of my supporting materials, and photos 1 and 2 provide that added context showing how far back the rear of our home is currently set compared to our neighbors. And I think the CA location map in the materials also provides a bit of context showing the length of homes around us compared to our own. So the proposed building length of 15.49 meters would really bring our home in alignment well with the homes around us, and specifically with our immediate neighbors who have lengths of 15.42 meters and 17.47 meters. So this length will just be maintaining the status quo. And since all of our homes are south facing, there is no shadow impact on our neighbors to speak of. Regarding our proposed setbacks, given the age of our home, it's over 100 years old. Its footprint and lot lines, were set decades ago, and we're only looking to maintain the current width of the house. And our house is not that wide to begin with. The setbacks are actually slightly narrower even than the original footprint of the home. So the east side setback is currently 0.24 meters on the original house, and we're proposing 0.35 meters. And similarly on the west side, 0.53 meters to 0.65 meters. And these types of narrower setbacks, I would say, are certainly not uncommon for our neighborhood. It is made up of many older homes situated similarly to mine, and even many of the newer homes that are being constructed have these types of setbacks. Our direct neighbor to the west, their west side setback is only 0.54 meters, and it's a fairly new construction. So we feel that our request is well suited for the neighborhood. As it pertains to our proposed deck, we are simply looking to build a structure like both of our immediate neighbors have. It would be the same height and depth and would not extend past the width of our home. So similar to our proposed building length request, we really feel that this proposed deck would just be maintaining the status quo. And regarding any privacy concerns, we are definitely more than happy to install a privacy screen, but we would discuss that with our neighbors just to make sure that's something they would like us to do. So yes, to wrap things up, we feel that our proposed extension aligns well with the type of construction activity that we're seeing around us. Many older homes are being overhauled with extensions going on, and many new old homes are being torn down to put significantly larger, newer homes up. So I believe that location map really helps to make it clear that our proposal will bring our home in alignment with our neighborhood. So we think that our proposal is minor and desirable for the community. And while we did not ask our neighbors to sign support letters, we did speak with our neighbors, and all save for one did agree that they were supportive of our request, given that it really would just bring our home in alignment with what they already have. So that's it. I appreciate your consideration of our request.
Thank you, madam. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll go to the next person on our, the next step unit. I have a Morgan Hall. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, can I get your full name and address, please, madam?
Yeah, Morgan Hall and 111 St Clements Avenue.
Okay, if you'd like to give us your thoughts on this application.
Yes, so now I did file a letter of objection regarding 2 of the variances. So let me know if I'm being redundant. My big concern with the extension at 107 St. Clements is the building length. Because they do have such small side setbacks, there's real issues with water drainage because it's such a flat lot. All of the water has to get directed to either the front or back of the property. So that additional building length will really impede draining the water. And the proposed roof slopes to the sides, whereas the current roof slopes to the front and the back. So the water is going to have to travel further.
Madam, before you go any further, just be aware that the committee does not deal with drainage issues. If this application is approved, they are required by the building division to submit a lot grading plan that makes sure that their stormwater is managed on their own property. But the committee doesn't deal with lot drainage issues, so I suggest you focus on the planning issues and not lot drainage issues.
Okay, thank you. I've never done this before. I guess going on then, the building length will actually make that extra bit, will make it go further back than both of the other houses. So it will block the morning light exposure to my breakfast area window and the master bedroom window. If you look at the site plan, you can see that it goes further, especially further back than my east side, but it goes further back than the whole point of my house. And as for the deck, the rear back deck, it's 4 feet up in the air. So any adult can easily look over the 6-foot privacy fence. So the reduced side setbacks will really impact my privacy. And that is all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll go back to the owner. Are you there? Amanda?
Yes, hi, I'm.
If you could just.
Yes, hi, I'm here.
You heard the comments from the previous speaker, if you'd like to address them.
Sure. Yes, regarding, I guess, the length of the house, we feel that our proposed length at 15.42 meters is in alignment with other homes along the street and in the area. And I think that this aligns well with what has been approved elsewhere in the community. The extension past the immediate neighbors' homes is like barely a foot. It's quite minor. And our setbacks, unfortunately, are quite narrow. They were established, decades ago, and we're not proposing to make our home any wider than what is already there. And our deck height will be the same height as both of those neighbors immediately next to us. We're not going any higher. And like I said, we would definitely be open to creating some kind of a privacy screen if our neighbors feel that that would be beneficial for the use of their home.
Okay, thank you, madam. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've listened to the applicant. I've listened to the concerns of the community. I note that there's no department comments or concerns. There's an extensive arborist report. So I will make a motion to approve this application.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Madam, your application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you. Thank you very
Ladies and
much.
Gentlemen, we are adjourned until 1:30.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, we're not doing number 6, I guess, or I thought we were gonna go back to that.
Oh, I have 6 left. Thank you, Ms. Sankar.
No, we did it.
We did number 6.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
42
sorry, I thought
Crescent.
there was one that was missing or.
Yeah, we got it.